picture make. Ain't no lot to see. All those plans I made for myself, I got nobody else to lean on.
Welcome to everyone joining us to experience stories of resilience, hope, perseverance, and joy.
Move over to a sport chair, basketball wheelchair.
Category of Best Video are...
We love you guys.
You're watching America Trends. I'm Mary Burke Godwin, and our next guest, he has spent nearly a decade researching, curating, and developing content to grow the estate sale industry. He is the director of marketing for estatesales.net, which provides detailed descriptions, pictures, and directions to local estate sales. And I have so many questions for you. Matt Ellison, welcome to America Trends.
Thank you, Mary, for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's so great to have you on the show. And so before I start talking about estatesales.net, I want to hear a little bit about you and how you got started in this industry.
Yeah, so as a kid, I grew up, my dad loved old cars, and we would go to hot rod shows, and it just kind of the nostalgia factor in our life of the idea of owning a 46 Ford, which would be one of the first cars after World War II. And that, I think, implanted into me my love of old things. And then in addition to that, I would go to yard sales with my mom, and it was fun to see what I could find. I'd bring back a record player or old records and different thrifting items that I had come across. And during that time, that love of like, I really enjoyed this. And as I went further on, I was like, I think I want to be a history teacher. And then life actually took me into business. And I got the privilege and opportunity to start working at estatesales.net 10 years ago, actually in the customer support department. And what I found was my love of business and my love of old things got to combine together. And that's one of I love the history behind all the old items. And for me, it's been a pleasure to be able to be a part of this company and bring those two things together.
That's so cool. First of all, before we move on, I just want to see the phone behind you, because I know that phone from my growing up, but I think the control room has never seen anything like that. Bianca, our producer, is like, I don't know what that thing is behind you. But that's old school telephone using. I used to be on that thing for hours.
Oh.
Okay, moving on. So this is fascinating. So do you help kind of both sides, the people that want to go look for new finds, can go onto estatesales.net and look for locations and things that they might be looking for, but also do you help people, like I know my mom is 91 and she, there might be a time we're going to need this in our future, to have somebody help us, because I don't even know the first place to start. Once she passes away, what's going to happen with all the stuff in the house? So do you help both sides of the coin?
Yes, absolutely. So we bring together the individuals that want to go to the sales to the companies that are hosting the sales. And then we also connect individuals that would like to have an estate sale themselves with those companies. So it kind of brings the buyers, the companies, and the people that need to sell their stuff all together in one spot. Is what as far as how estatesales.net has been built.
Okay, great. So if you are someone, and this is nationwide, right?
Yes, all throughout the United States.
So you can plug in, I think I saw on the website, you can plug in your zip code and say, I want to go shopping. And it would tell me where some estate sales are in my area, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So if you were in, let's say, Chicago or any metropolitan area, you would go to the homepage, you would enter in your zip code, or you can type in your city, and then that will give you a list, also a map, and a list of the estate sales that are going on in your area at that time and also in the future. So an estate sale, let me ask you probably some dumb questions here, but is it like a garage sale but on a bigger level in a, what constitutes an estate sale? Is it the size of the home? Is it the quality of the stuff? The value of everything? What constitutes an estate sale? So how we would typically define it would be that a garage sale is usually just kind of picked items that someone has said, you know what, I think I want to part with these. It is not the whole house, the whole estate, all the items in a house. So that is the biggest differentiator, is whenever you go to an estate sale, it's the liquidation of pretty much everything in that house, where a garage sale is just hand-picked items by the owner saying, I want to get rid of this one, or this other one. And so when you go to an estate sale, it's going to be typically a lot bigger than a standard garage sale. It also, you're going to find like everything from very small items, silverware, to furniture, because if you think about what you actually have in your house, all that stuff would be getting sold.
So it's literally every single thing in the home is for sale. And does it have a price tag on it?
Yeah.
With a little sticker?
Yes. Yeah.
That stresses me out at garage
yeah.
sales, is figuring out how to price things. 50 cents or $1 for this item that I bought for $50.
Yeah, so a company, that's really what a professional estate sale company does, is they come in, they'll get that house staged, because they're professionals in the level of even putting items to stage them. Like you go into a store, they want the certain things to sell better than other things, and we're going to place it over here, place it over there. And that's kind of the art of what a company does, is they go in and then they price everything and get it to be like you're going into a store, but you're walking into a house. And then once you go in there, you will find those items priced. And then usually as a sale goes along, how it typically goes is it's like full price on the first day, and then it gradually will discount throughout the remaining days, because the job of an estate sale company is actually to liquidate all those assets under a time frame, under a relatively short time frame. And so that's why you will see, when you hear people say go on the last day, you might get the best deal, is because that company is trying to make sure they get everything out of that house. And most of the time that is so that the house can be sold.
Got it. So, that was my question actually too, was the time frame. Is it a weekend, or how, who puts the time limit on it? I guess it might depend on if they need to sell the house, how quickly they need to sell the house, right? Those are factors.
Yes, absolutely. So a time frame can really come down to how fast that house needs to be sold. Sometimes those houses are already sold whenever they need to get the items out. And then usually who sets that is going to be, it's going to be between the client and the estate sale company. But typically a sale will run usually like 2 to 4 days. We usually see on average it's about 3 days. And it just depends on how much stuff. Now, we have heard of estates where they have so many items that they'll have to do it over several weekends, just because it is so large. And that's not uncommon, but typically a house will be liquidated within that 4-day time frame.
And I think I saw on your website that you actually have pictures of items that you can show people and say, hey, if you go to La Jolla to this house on this date, you're going to see these items. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. So that's part of estatesales.net, is for the companies will advertise those sales up there, and then you, as a person that wants to go to an estate sale, you go on the site, you'll find that sale listing, and then those items you can actually go, okay, when I attend that sale, these items will be there. And that gives you, that's actually where the whole estatesales.net started, was Dan, who started with his son. He wanted to go into the houses to be able to see what was going to be in the houses before they had actually, the sale started. And back then there was no place to view items beforehand. And so he would go in and take pictures for the estate sale companies and then put them up online. And what that does is that allows you to be able to really tell what you're going to could potentially buy whenever you arrive. It also tells you what time period a house could be stuck in. So sometimes houses have the same stuff where the house is stuck in the 70s or it's stuck in the 50s. And those are, I love those, because it's so neat to see. It just takes you back.
Retro.
The nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
So,
okay, quickly
absolutely.
before we go, what are some tips for first-time estate sale shoppers?
Yeah, so I say one of the big ones is bring cash with you, just in case.
What's that?
A lot of estate sale companies will take credit cards, but just in case you find one, you don't want to miss out on a treasure, and they only accept cash. So bring a little bit of cash with you.
Okay.
If you want the best deal, I would say probably go on the last day. But if you don't want to miss out on something, you see something on the site that you have to have, go on the first day. And then I say the one that no one ever thinks of, but before you go, I'd pack some snacks because it's going to be probably a long day. You're going to have a lot of fun. You won't want to stop. So pack some snacks and maybe go to the bathroom before you arrive.
Because you go to a couple on the day. You get the map and you just I'm going to go estate sale shopping. And do you fight people? Do people get in fights over items or what?
They shouldn't. So,
it's been happening. It's happened a few times.
We don't hear about that very often. So.
Okay, well, that's because I haven't been to any. I'm just kidding. Well, I am so happy that you were here. It was a pleasure to learn about this. Estatesales.net. Matt Ellison, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you so much. And everyone at home, thank you for tuning into America Trends. We've got more after this break. You can find us on social media at America Trends TV, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll be right back.